Midsummer Scream, welcome John Murdy and Michael Aiello.
All right, what makes Terrifier a perfect candidate for this year's Horror Nights and Horror Nights Orlando from Just Warren 26608? You know, we could answer that question for you. Or we could ask the guys who made the movies. All right, let's bring to the stage Damien Leone, the writer, director, producer of Terrifier, and the producer Phil Valconi.
What's up, everybody? So we love you back. Wow. So what was that? What makes Terrifier a good candidate for HHN?
Yes. Why do you think Terrifier is a good candidate for HHN?
Art the Clown. He's a fun, sick, sadistic, twisted son of a bitch. I think it's, even for me, I mean, this is sort of the first time I'm like in your shoes and I get to go in this house and be chased and taunted by my own character, you know? Like, that's really exciting, actually, because on set, we don't have that relationship.
It's a different fear. You know, it'd be funny if we gave him real weapons for when you come through.
What better way to go out, right?
How about you, Phil? Why do you think Terrifier belongs at Horror Nights?
I don't know, I've never been to Halloween Horror Nights, but I'm excited to be at both of them. I'm going to be in California and in Orlando, check them both out. As Damien has mentioned, we are on the other side of the camera, so we don't get to see it this time. We're going to live it, and I already told him I want to experience it, and I've never done a horror house.
He said, no.
Oh boy.
He said, I hope I don't shit my pants in there.
We'll hook you up, Phil. All right, well, what we're going to do now, since we have the guys who made the Terrifier movies, is we're going to do a little bit of a deep dive into Terrifier. Is that all right with you guys? Wait a minute, hold on. All right, do we have Terrifier fans in the audience? That's what makes Terrifier a great franchise for Halloween Horror Nights. All right, let's start with the concept. You know, the first thing we did is we all kind of got together and we talked. And, you know, Mike and I, we both gravitated towards this, which is the Funhouse from Terrifier 2. And I just learned this not that long ago, but would you explain this, guys?
Yeah, it doesn't exist. Yeah, so in Terrifier 2 you see this, and we did not have the money to build an actual scale facade. So I'm a fan of like really old school techniques that they don't really use anymore, so I wanted to use sort of a miniature forced perspective approach to doing this. So we really just built like a 3x2 foot facade, and then we used some digital effects to map it into, you know, like with a background plate. And it worked pretty cool. And I wish I could really get my hands on the actual facade now that they built. It's the first time I'm ever seeing one in reality, which is so freaking cool. Very surreal.
It would be funny if we did that. It'd be like Spinal Tap with Stonehenge, you know, you guys show up and you're like, what? Oh, really? So, here's the facade, by the way. For all of you, and I know you've seen this because you've retweeted it, but like, people ride the studio tour at our park all the time just so they can try to get a picture of this facade. So, you know, when we were talking, Mike and I, we really gravitated towards, let's have the Funhouse be not only the facade for the experience, but let's try to like take all of the great kills from the franchise and bring them to the Funhouse, even if it didn't take place in the movie that way. And that was kind of like our I think, Mike, is it fair to say that was like our first big idea for how we were going to attack this?
Absolutely. It was really, could we place the guests in an environment completely of art's creation, and then house those kills within it? And what would that be like? That was the mission.
It was kind of like Art was showing off his works of, pun intended, art for the guests, is kind of another way to look at it. So there it is. I just took that picture not too long ago. And what we're doing now, we're adding all the scrub grass and the dried plants and all of that stuff. But that's the Terrifier facade. Just to highlight a couple of things. When you're waiting out front, it's going to be the Terrifier theme music, and then you're going to hear like a radio. And I'm talking about Hollywood. You're going to hear the radio station kind of changing channels, static. Hear a little blip of, the Clown Cafe theme song, and then it's going to land on a news report, and it's going to say, police are on the lookout for a tall, thin man wearing a black and white clown costume and carrying a large garbage bag. And while this news report is going on, there's two doors. The clown head door is the door you're going to be going through. But Art is going to appear standing behind that door, and then he's going to open the gate. And then he's going to come out. And I gave him another gate in the fence, so he can get real up close and personal with all of you. And Mike?
Ditto. Here's a scenic elevation of the facade in Orlando. We made one minor alteration to really sell that Art has taken it over. We painted over the clown that looks a lot like Jack the Clown and made it Art instead. So you can really, when you go into the house, you really get a sense that this is Art's world. He's now taken this funhouse completely over. And then I think the next slide is the facade. There it is. That's it. One cool additive in the doorway that you're not going through, there on the right-hand side, that's a media wall that's going to give you a glimpse of several of the Terrifier characters. You're going to see Vicky, you're going to see a little pale girl in there. And so, yeah, you're going to see all those characters kind of waiting for you on the inside.
Did you guys ever go through like carny fun houses when you were kids? Like growing up?
Yeah, absolutely.
Did they freak you out?
Not too bad. I kind of like that stuff. Gravitated toward creepy shit.
I grew up in Coney Island, and they.
Did you really?
Yeah.
I love Coney Island.
And they had the freak show in there.
Oh, yeah.
That's when that was a popular thing. And we used to see it. You'd be walking down the street, and you'd see the people with the weird looks on them. You had some crazy shit going on in my
Did you ever work there for a summer when you?
I never worked there. A lot of my friends did. That's how we actually got the carnival for Terrifier 2. Funny story, the guy who owns Adventureland, it used to be Nellie Bly, he used to handle the ponies for 15 cents. You'd ride a pony in Coney Island.
Yeah.
And he owns the park today. And he let us, well, he rented it to us, but rented it to us at a very nice price. So, and I had called up a friend of mine, Joe Pagano, who I hadn't seen in like 40 years. I said, anybody still working? Anybody still have connections there? He said, yeah, we got him. And that's how we got it.
Oh, that's cool. So you actually filmed the interiors and
Not the interiors. We shot the exterior carnivals in Nellie Bly, and then we shot the interiors in Fright Factory.
It's a haunted house.
Oh yeah, totally.
Yeah. And he's a great guy too, Frank.
Yeah.
Let's talk about the characters. Let's start with this guy. And, I'm sure, Damien, you've probably told this story a million times, but if you wouldn't mind, like, what was the inspiration for Art the Clown initially when you first came up with him?
Yeah, just making a short film, and I wanted to put a bunch of horror, sort of, classic cliche characters in this short film that I could use as a calling card, and I wanted to see if I could do anything interesting with them and put my own spin, and I wanted to try and do something different with a killer clown. And when I was designing him, I said, he can't be anything like Tim Curry's Pennywise. So I didn't want him to be colorful, I didn't want him to speak, I wanted him to have weapons instead, and I sort of wanted to turn him into a slasher. And it was really just based around this one scene, which is the scene in the short film The Night Circle, which was then put into All Hallows Eve, just with Art terrorizing this woman in a train station. It was supposed to be a bus, and that's actually why that scene exists at the end of Terrifier 3. And then...
It's a fabulous scene, I might add.
Did you have something to do with that scene?
I might have had a little bit.
Tom the bus driver, ladies and gentlemen.
And you like the old horror movies.
I like
Yeah.
horror movies, and I do like rom-coms.
But yeah, I mean, so it was a little scene in this short film, and then it gets, you know, there's creatures and demons after that, and Art's only in the first 4 minutes, but everybody who saw it back then said, what is going on with that clown? Like, he's too cool, he looks so creepy, you're gonna make more stuff with him, right? And I was like, oh yeah, I'm gonna make plenty of things, for sure. And I was like, all right, I better write something else with this character. So then I made another short film called Terrifier, which is also in All Hallows Eve. And that's when I said, all right, I'm going to really turn him into a slasher now and see, you know, what this guy's really about. And then that's when I sort of realized that there was something special. I didn't imagine it would turn into this, but I said, this character has something. There's a charisma there. There's something special, and I need to keep going. I need to get this character into a feature somehow. So that 20-minute short film Terrifier was sort of the proof of concept, the calling card. And it took years to try and convince somebody to give me money to turn that into Terrifier the feature until I met this guy right here, the only person who believed in me to give me the money to do it.
Give it up for Phil. Producers need love, you know?
But you both have done something that many have tried over the last few decades that have not been able to do, which is create the next generation of slasher icons. And Art is a slasher icon now. That's fantastic. Totally.
Well, you gotta give her up for this, man. I mean, that's a creation, and like I said many times, even though he hates to hear it, I'm not from the horror world. But when I saw this clown, I was like, first of all, when he first mentioned the clown, I was like, I don't do clown movie. When you see it, I was like, wow, this is pretty fucking wild. And when we were done shooting Terrifier 1, I was impressed. I gotta be honest, I was impressed because I had just done a movie and it cost me a couple $100,000, and we did this one for $40,000, and there's so much more shit in there, and I'm like, holy crap. I said, I pissed away a lot of money on my film.
Well, truthfully, I mean, if
The house was more expensive, just so you know.
I mean, if this works, the truth is, it's because it's all coming from a very genuine, organic place, from a diehard horror fan, and I've been one since I'm literally 3 years old. I've been watching these movies and idolizing characters like Freddy, Jason, Michael Myers, literally since I'm 3. So hopefully there's just something instinctual after I'm consumed so much of that, I mean, this is really what I birthed out. I mean, so that's a big part of it. And then obviously David, who, you know, brings such an incredible performance to it.
I have a question for the producer. How did you guys find David? Was it did he just come to an audition, or was it?
Well, we were looking for a new a new Art. Now we're looking for a new Dave. We were looking for a new Art, and the person we had that we did the teaser with, he couldn't deal with the lenses.
Yeah, most people don't know that. Before we hired Dave, we had another actor. We shot a teaser for it, and this was after Mike Gianelli, because Mike Gianelli was the original Art the Clown in the short films and All Hallows Eve, but then he just didn't want to act anymore, so I had to replace him. And there was someone else that I'd been working with, and I was like, I think this guy could do a good job playing Art. And we filmed this teaser, but he has these like really, you know, bright, striking blue eyes, and I said, that doesn't work with this character. You need to wear these black lenses, and we put the lenses in for the teaser, but they irritated his eyes so much, and he was like, I don't really want to keep go on playing this character wearing these lenses. I was like, okay, so we got to start again. And I said, let's hold an audition. You know, we put it online, and then we rented an office in Manhattan, and we had people come in. And David, you know, I've said this many times, David was like the 6th person to come into the room, and as soon as I saw him physically, I was like, this is the guy. I'm like, please let this guy not just, you know, be a raving lunatic or something. I'm like, yeah, I'll tell you, he doesn't have to do anything. He just looks so perfect, and especially I was looking for somebody thinner now, because the way I sculpted Art's face, he's sculpted to look kind of like a zombie. So I was like, he's gonna be great. And then Dave didn't have any sides or anything. He just knew he was coming in for a killer clown role. And he said, well, what do I do? And I said, I don't have any lines. I said, no lines. I said, I just need to see you decapitate somebody, and you're having a very fun time doing it. You do it very gleefully. And then you can see his audition online. He's like, okay. And then he just flips the switch and he goes into almost like what you see as Art the Clown right now. It's almost identical. Yeah, and fantastic. I knew right then that it was gonna surpass like what I was even looking for. And it was just Phil and I in the room, and then he left, and I turned to Phil and I said, are we really looking for anything else? I was like, that's the guy. So let's bring him back, put the makeup on him, and have him do this all over again. We basically shut down the audition right there, and that was it, yeah.
Wow. So let's talk about art. So we always do character illustrations. They're done by our in-house artist, Lucas Colshaw. He's been doing these illustrations for years. You guys know his work. He's been doing it for years and years and years. These are just some of the iterations of Art the Clown you're going to experience in the house in Hollywood. We have our classic bloody art. We have art after he's scalped the woman and is wearing the hair. We have poopy art. And of course, Santa art. And then this is kind of a combination of Orlando and Hollywood. But Mike, did you have anything on that?
No, I was just going to say, it really is about the multiple ways we need to bring this character to life for a house that has to run, the number of nights it has to run.
Yeah.
You've got prosthetic versions, you've got masked versions. You're seeing two on the sides there, two new iterations of the character that our team's created with Damien's guidance.
Yep. Let's talk about Vicky. Can you, Damien, explain like the character of Vicky, like where that came from? She's evolved.
She has evolved, yes. It was, again, taking traditional tropes and then seeing if I can do something interesting or spin it in a new direction. And I don't think I'd ever really seen a final girl go through this transition where she's the supposed final girl in the original, but then she turns into a victim, and then she turns into a villain. So it's been one of the most fun arcs through the entire franchise, and especially to just watch Samantha find this character and become more and more evil and sadistic as this goes, and see how much she enjoys that element. And this was like a really challenging makeup that also evolved through the course of the movies. It was very crude originally, it was totally different materials, and then by the time we got to Terrifier 2, I resculpted everything, made new teeth, and this is very, very difficult makeup for her to wear, because she's virtually blind, so obviously one eye's completely covered, the other eye has an acrylic eye that plugs into the prosthetic and has a tiny pinhole for her to see through, and then the dentures, they clip into her teeth, but they have these gums that push her real gums as far up as possible, that twists her mouth out of shape, and then we basically glue the prosthetic into that, so she's stuck looking like that, and blind for 10 hours or so. So it's not easy. Yeah.
And Samantha is one of the most amazing people you'll ever meet.
Yeah.
Solid through and through. She bitched a little, but solid. She drove me crazy.
Can you blame her?
I can. She drove me crazy on 3, but well worth it.
And what you're seeing on screen right now, the character design, but also like the mask as it was evolving. Yeah, we haven't figured out the vision thing yet. We're gonna have to figure that out. I'm looking at it going, okay, where is she looking through? Vision isn't important.
Just feel around.
And then there's the little pale girl. How did this character come to be in the second movie?
I wanted a character to embody the evil that resurrects the boogeyman, which is something you don't typically see in these movies, right? It's just the boogeyman trope. They come back from the dead and you don't really know why, but what's bringing them back, what force or what. So I thought this would be the reason why it's this little creepy girl is actually based on this old short Fellini film from an Edgar Allan Poe anthology movie called Spirits of the Dead. And there's this little devil pale girl like in it, and I thought, and then I started seeing all girls starting to dress up as Art and do their variation. I was like, I have to quickly do my own version of this before it's like out of my hands. Yeah, it was like the first Halloween when people started dressing up, and I started seeing that, and I was like, all right, I'm gonna make my own little version. Because the original pale girl was supposed to look like her, obviously, but not be dressed as Art the Clown. She was gonna be in this sort of like sundress and have like a flower in her hair, and then I quickly was like, no, it's gonna be a female little Art the Clown. Yeah. And you will find out a lot more about this character in the next one. Yeah.
So for us in Hollywood, Little Pale Girl is a special effect. We have a scene called Dolly Molly, and when you come in, it's the sequence in the film where I think they're dental tools that are like sitting on and she's just ripped all the flesh off her face. And as you come into the scene, it's an animated effect where there's a little sensor you're going to trip, and then she does a 180. Her head turns 180 to look at you.
Oh.
In Orlando, we've got live performers that are going to play Little Pale Girl, in both versions, both iterations, in her most ghostly sense and then her most mauled sense. We have team members right now who are just so excited about playing this character. They absolutely are loving it.
Wait, can I just say, everything you're saying, like, this is all them. This is what they presented to me for this house.
Yeah.
And I'm just, and I was just blown away. I mean, this is everything that you could possibly want and more put into this. If you love this franchise, you are going to absolutely be blown away by what they have in this experience. Yeah, really.
And speaking of final girls, Sienna Shaw, and she's such a badass. We had to find a place for her to be in the house as well. And again, I'm just going to show you, this is where we start. This is the character design. We're going to have her show up in the full, cosplay outfit from the second movie.
And then this is our in-house costuming team in Orlando adapted this look, and here it is. You're going to see her in the flesh in the house, Sienna Shaw, and it is just an awesome costume. They did such an amazing job replicating it.
I already feel bad for this performer backstage, because sorry, it's a visual. They're going to be like, excuse me, excuse me, excuse me. But you have to have the wings.
I hope you have a lot of duct tape handy.
Let's talk about what makes Terrifier, the kills. And I was really interested, like, when we first announced this, I was getting all these questions like, you guys aren't going to go. Oh yeah, we are. We're going to go there. And let's start with one of the most infamous kills. The hacksaw kill from Terrifier 1. What sick person thought up this particular kill?
I wanted to see something I hadn't seen in a movie before.
I hadn't seen that. Can't unsee it now. That was the entire idea, was just I want to do something I've never seen in the movie before?
Yeah, and it was, well, obviously me and Phil did the makeup effects in part 1, so that was like, that was something cool that I had in my pocket, was knowing how to do these effects and not, having to worry about a ratings board or anything. We were so under the radar, we could do anything. And I said, this movie, at that point, no following really whatsoever, except, there was a, nice group of people who really enjoyed All Hallows Eve. But, for the most part, nobody knew what this movie was or who this character was. And I said, if people are going to watch, why are they going to watch this movie when they can watch, a $20 million Hollywood horror movie? And I said, we have to put things in this movie that they're afraid to put into their movie. And I said, I've seen a million slasher movies. I have to come up with something really cool that I haven't seen before. And actually, I started investigating medieval torture methods to see if anything piqued my interest. And I saw, and a few things did, and I saw a picture, a drawing of someone hung upside down, and two people at the end of this giant saw cutting this. Yeah, it's very
exactly.
yeah.
Unfortunately, I know exactly what you're talking about.
Yeah, and I said, could I pull that off and have him do that alone with the girl? And I was like, yeah, I think I can do that. I mean, if I have the audience at that point, I was like, they'll stick with me for the rest of the way, or maybe I'll lose them all at that point. But yeah, no, we did it, and seriously, like, huge, kudos and credit to Catherine Corcoran for going through that. I mean, that took a lot, and I had discussions with her during that, before we shot that scene, and she said, listen, if we're gonna do this, like, this has to be the coolest thing. Like, don't make me regret doing this. Like, if you're gonna do it, make it look super cool and make it be something memorable. And I think we did it. So.
Oh, you did it.
I gotta say, I think all the kills with all the girls, they all had.
They were brutal.
They were brutal areas that we shot in, and
just like the environments.
Yeah, the environments. That's what I'm talking about. And it was tough, and they all were troopers. You can't make them wait. It's not just me and him. There's a whole crew of people. I mean, the first one it was like 5 people on the crew. Second one it was like 9. And but everybody wore a lot of hats and did a lot of things. Without them, we couldn't do it. But the actors and actresses, my God, what they went through, and evidently it's worth it.
Who cleans up the blood? Who cleans up the blood when you do a scene?
We all do.
You all, like, literally all clean up the blood?
Oh, literally. As a matter of fact, I quit because I was mopping the shower scene. I'm mopping, and he's over there goofing around, and I said, the next person that walks through this fucking blood and I gotta clean it again, I'm fucking out of here. And he starts laughing. I said, that's it, I'm out. Drop the blood and walked out.
I'll post it. I have it.
So what we're showing here, so we have a scene, it's called, in Hollywood, it's called Silly Saws. And it's just all different kinds of ways that Art the Clown can saw people in half, including the classic kill from Terrifier 1. So this is the concept drawing we did for that kill. And of course you're gonna be showered with blood. You guys are really freaked out about this, aren't you? I mean, you're like really freaked out about this blood thing, aren't you? I get questions all the time. You're like, well, like, should I think about what I'm wearing? Should I bring a poncho? Should I, And I'm just not going to answer it. I'm sorry. We just come, check it out, and what happens, happens. Just go with it. Just go with it. So, in this scene, we also have 2 little kids on a teeter-totter animated effect going up and down with their heads cut off. Oh, because why not? And here they are. We even did a drawing for it. And then we've got a table saw, and Art is just going to literally saw a person in half, and of course you're going to get showered in blood.
Oh my gosh.
And Mike's got a gag of his own here. Go ahead, Mike.
So we mentioned before about not only want to feature the kills, but we also want to surround you in the kills. So because this is Art's Funhouse, we created a corridor in Orlando that on the ceiling, you can see here, are all the hacksaws moving above your head and sawing bodies in half as you're walking through this corridor, with blood spraying all around you as you're going through. And this is a trend in most of this house about how do we take that kill and then how do we
physically affect
the guest with it. And this is one of the reasons, or ways that we're doing that.
I don't know, looking at these pictures, I think I need Depends when I go through.
We can hook you up, Phil. It's all right. We'll give you universal branded Depends. How about that?
I'm going to hold you to that.
I think I just got a new sponsor.
Merchandise right now is going, wait a second.
I think when Henry Ford, came up with the idea for the assembly line, he probably didn't really anticipate where that would go in the future. Oh yeah, Allie's death, Terrifier 2. You guys know what I'm talking about, right? All right. So we're gonna do it. We're gonna do that scene with the bleach and and the salt and the whole deal. But there's a twist. Before you get there, you're gonna have to go through the scene we call barrels of fun. Okay, bleach barrels stacked up either side of you. As you start to walk through, you're gonna hear the Tommy gun going off. The barrels are gonna light up, and we're pumping in the smell of bleach. And then you're gonna get showered in bleach. And then we reveal it's all Art with his Tommy gun.
We're doing the same thing. It's happening the exact same way. But here's a photo of the house. Here's some of the bleach barrels that are going to be spraying bleach all over you.
That looks hygienic. And, okay. say, Terrifier 3, so we were already working on this, and Terrifier 3 was, coming out in the movie theater, and, you guys know I live in Ireland most of the year, and it was like a Tuesday night, and I was like, okay, I gotta go watch Terrifier 3. I can't wait till somebody hooks me up with a link where I could watch this.
Stop begging.
All right. So it was literally a Tuesday night, and I went to on the website of my local cinema, and it was like, I don't know, like a 9 o'clock show or something, and I looked at it and I'm like, there's one seat left on a Tuesday night in the northwest corner of Ireland. I'm like, really? And so I bought that ticket. Only 2 people walked out. And everybody else hung for the whole thing. But when I watched Terrifier 3, the mall Santa scene, I knew we had to do something with that. So okay, again, inspiration for that. Did you always want to blow up Santa, or?
No, it's just how do you kill as many kids at one time as possible?
We've gone to a dark place.
I'd like to point out that Phil and Damien do not work for Universal Destinations and Experiences. Thank you.
Well, it's been a good 20 years of Horror Nights, but I think I'm going to be hanging it up after this. Chris Williams is my art director, production designer. Chris has been doing Horror Nights with me for 20 years. So this is him and his team, his art department. They've created that entire, Santa set. You're gonna go into Christmas, except all of the elves are, beheaded and disemboweled, and their intestines are stringing the Christmas trees, and their heads are the tree toppers. And then after you go through this, we're gonna take you through this like hedge maze of Christmas, and it's all the Terrifier, it's a Terrifier Christmas, all of that is playing, and it's just gonna rain blood, so literally, we're just not giving you a choice, dry path, no, just all of you go in the same place, and of course Santa Art will be attacking you with his chainsaw the whole time.
Yeah, ditto. I mean, we're doing exactly what John just described. Here's some scenic elevations done by our amazing team back in Orlando. Manuel Cordero is one of our designers working on this house. A light maze there. You can see some of the bodies that are strung up. I will say, and this is a record, this house has the most bodies ever in a haunted house in the history of Halloween Horror Nights in Orlando. That is a fact. That is a fact.
Yeah, there's a lot of dead elves. Well, in some ways it's kind of like our revenge against Christmas. Because I don't know about you, Mike, but when I come out to LA every year, and you go to Home Depot and you're like, look at all this Halloween stuff. Last year I was trying to find like a costume for my kids because they came out for Halloween, and I went to Target or something, and it was already Christmas, and it was like not even Halloween yet. Yeah. And I thought at that moment, if I could get my revenge against Christmas, I'm gonna do it. And luckily your film, when I saw Terrifier 3, I was like, oh, perfect. Oh God. If you thought Texas Chainsaw Massacre smelled bad, if you thought The Exorcist Believer smelled bad, if you thought the bathroom scene in Insidious with the kid puking smelled bad, these guys, they did the work for us. There, in the first Terrifier movie, there's that scene in the pizza parlor. I don't know if you would care to explain to our audience the inspiration.
Explain yourself.
Yes, explain what Art did in the bathroom.
I never saw a slasher take a shit before, so I was like, how do I make my guy different? And it just became a running theme, though, through the motif, so to speak, through the movies.
I do have a very specific question, because I've been trying to figure this out ever since I watched the movie and went through it. What the hell is that in the sink? It's got teeth, it's got eyes, it looks like poop.
It is, it's a poop monster.
I can't wait to show you tomorrow. I'm going to take him, we're going to walk through the house tomorrow. And my props team built that poop monster. And it's awesome. It's so cute. I could market this. It's like a bath toy or something. I don't know. How was that filming that scene? Was it awful?
In the Fright Factory, it was awful because it was fucking cold.
It was cold.
And blood and cold doesn't go well.
And Hershey's.
How about poop and cold? How does poop do in the cold?
It's chocolate, so it's okay. I'll tell you what grossed me out was when we shot the pizzeria scene with the shit, because that was a real active pizzeria. Matter of fact, I was making pizzas in the front while they were shooting the scene.
They didn't even close for you?
They closed for us, yeah.
Needless to say, they're not operational anymore.
The health board would have something to say about
We
that.
shot that in an active pizzeria, and we didn't hold back.
Did they give you pizza at least?
I made the pizza.
Oh, you made the pizza.
We were still cleaning up when they opened the next day, and people started coming in to eat. Yeah, crazy. And so much blood got into the dough mixer, and like, no joke, it was crazy.
I felt terrible because I always say, however we go into a
Yeah,
place,
you gotta leave it the way.
gotta leave it better.
Oh.
Gotta leave it better than when you go in. We failed miserably on that one.
All right, well, let's share some of the love then. So this is the scenic elevations for the bathroom scene. For us, the way we kind of have it laid out is you're in the funhouse. You're going through the funhouse, and we thought, well, funhouse, should have a food place, and then there's always a place you can grab a bite, and then there's got to be a bathroom. So it was a kind of a natural flow for us to go to the bathroom. So while you're in the bathroom, we thought it would be fun to have like little Easter eggs in the stalls. So there's kills inspired by Terrifier 1, 2, and 3 as you're going in. So we got the dude from the pizza parlor who gets his head turned into a human jack-o'-lantern in stall number 1. We got the mashed potato kill from Terrifier 2 in stall number 2. And we have that unfortunate construction worker that Art rips all the flesh off his face in stall number 3. But then batting cleanup is Art. And as you're coming in, he's writing his name on the wall in poop. And if you look at that character design, his little, clown gloves are just caked in it. So, and the smell.
Oh, God.
Smell will be pumped in as well.
We're just replicating what we saw.
And Mike, that's a picture of
And
yours.
here's the interior of the house in Orlando. There is the poop monster, as I think it's called now. And yes, we're doing the same thing. We're replicating all the kills. We are doing mashed potato kill, but we've replaced the potatoes with something else.
Does it have the same consistency as potatoes?
It might.
One request, any chance we could turn the smell of poop into chocolate? Without the smell.
Not a chance, Phil.
Ah, shit.
Phil, I gotta tell you, we've only really done a poop scene once. So we did it the first year, 2006. We had a house called Asylum, and it was an original house, and we had a scene like that. And I would come home from work at night, and my wife would go, "Why do you smell like poop?" And I was like, "Oh my God, I had to throw the jacket away because it was bad." And there's also, I should mention, getting in and out of the bathroom are underwear hanging in your path with, there's been a little accident. So I'm sorry.
What I think we're trying to say is this is the most highbrow Horror Nights has ever been.
Yeah.
Well, I only hope that my family does not see this tape until after they go through this, because there's going to be not only poop, there's going to be throw up. Because they are not holding that.
We can hook you up on that too. Well, let's go from poop segue.
John, what are you doing here?
I'm trying to increase the sales for their vendors out in the lobby.
The food should have been first, and then the bathroom.
Well,
So all of these, if you go to these like carnivals, that set up, there's always food. So we thought, of course, the food should be the Clown Cafe. So these are just scenic elevations of some of the elements you're going to see in the Clown Cafe. We built Art's food trailer. We built the whole thing. We built that playground set with all the dead kitties. We did that lovely United Colors of Bennington mural, whatever that is. And the Clown Cafe host there's an Easter egg. You'll see her slumped in the corner. This is post-Art blasting her with the blowtorch, so she's burnt to a crisp. The music will be playing. The kid with the Art Krispies cereal, that's going to be in there. And then there's that weird, I don't know if it's a hat box or what the hell that is with the heart in it and all of the maggots and stuff. And we
Yeah, that's right. That's exactly what it is.
Is that right on?
For lack of what we don't know.
So that's in there too, but that's a little, people like to touch stuff in Horror Nights. Don't try hard, because you'll get a surprise if you do. Okay? That's all I'm going to say. 10,000 volts. No, just kidding. 10,000 volts will go, no. But it's a little interactive surprise for you in there. Michael?
And here's some photos of the Orlando house. There's the mural from Clown Cafe. There's not the final version, but that's what the house lights on. There's our Art Krispies kid there in a swing set, and then also in Orlando, and I think maybe Hollywood as well. There's the Clown Cafe. Our F&B actually created Clown Cafe, and you can actually go there during the event and have Terrifier themed food from the Clown Cafe.
That's in Orlando.
In Orlando, Clown Cafe. I hope you enjoy it.
We're just serving a cereal bowl full of razor blades, broken glass, and mealworms. Really? Okay. All right. Now we do feel like we should warn you of a couple of things, okay? I'm gonna do my warning for Hollywood, and Mike's gonna do his warning for Orlando. Don't go out the chicken exit, okay? You might encounter a chicken exit in the house. It'll look just like that. Look for that chicken, or actually, I think that's a rooster. It's a rooster chicken exit. You might end up backstage if you go out the chicken exit. And you might encounter some things you're not supposed to encounter. So if you see the chicken exit, at your own risk, okay? And it's a little surprise for you guys, okay? So I'm just gonna leave it at that.
In Orlando, I think we've gone on record saying this is going to be the wettest house we've ever produced in the history of the event, and we're not lying. We're giving you two paths in Orlando. You can make a choice. You can go to the left-hand side, which is our dry path, if you choose. I agree, boo to that. So why would you want to have less of an experience? Or you can go right, and you're going to go into what we're calling our Symphony of Blood. In this picture you're seeing, this is our finale. What you're not seeing is Art on a second level. Underneath him is a blood waterfall. If you move to the right-hand side, you'll be entering into our Symphony of Blood. And I'm not kidding, you are going to get drenched. I'm talking front row Jurassic Park. But you have a choice. You have a choice. The direction to the team when we first started the creative was, can we create a finale that feels like a car wash of blood? And that is what this is.
I'm not giving you a choice, I'm sorry. But wait! There's more. I'm hearkening back to the beginning of this panel when we said, by the pricking of my thumb, something wicked this way comes. Do you want you've been through all the announcements at this point. There surely couldn't be anything else we could possibly announce. With this slate, it's so stacked. What else could we possibly do for you people? Well, okay, I'm gonna stand up for this. So, you know Where's Waldo, right? I always thought it would be fun to do Where's Waldo like in a theme park. Except instead of Waldo, it's Art the Clown. So as you're traversing, if I may use that word.
You just did.
As you're traversing the theme park, Art the Clown is out there, okay? I'm not gonna tell you where he is. You might be in a store. Yeah, you might be in a store, and you might turn around and he might be right behind you. You could go down, to the Universal Plaza and plop down and go, hey, it's time for a drink or it's time for some food, and look across from you and there's somebody just mad dogging you, right? You could go down the Starway down to the lower lot of the park. He might be down there too. He could be anywhere. So what we're doing, and we're doing this on both coasts, is
That's
we were
correct.
like, it's awesome to have a Terrifier haunted house, but we weren't satisfied with that. We were like, Art's such an awesome character. And we really truly believe this, guys, Damien and Phil. I mean, Mike and I grew up on Freddy, Jason, Leatherface, Michael Myers. We were like smack dab in the middle of the slashers. And there really hasn't been a worthy slasher icon until Art came around in a long, long time. And we want to pay tribute to that as much as we possibly can. So these pictures up here, they're kind of suggestive of what you might see in the park. I don't know, Mike, if you want to add something else to
No,
this.
I mean, it is exactly what you said. We want Art to be everywhere we can possibly put him, and also never tell you when that's going to happen. You will encounter him when you least expect it, and that's the really fun thing. And that is the character. He's
Unpredictable.
Yes. So we're proud that you all let us do this as well. And everything we're talking about here, Art in the park, the house, is our loving tribute to the work that the two of you and your teams did to create this amazing franchise.
Yeah, give it up for him.
Listen, I mean, this obviously is one of the greatest honors for us ever. It's still surreal. We don't believe, I can't wait to see this. I can't believe this is actually happening. But on top
He
of
might
that,
be in your car. He might follow you home.
I'm used
Might
to
be
it.
at your hotel right now.
Surrounded by this guy. But seriously, just for embracing exactly what this franchise is and what you guys love about it and what it's known for, it was the coolest thing. Because there's a lot of times we're presented with opportunities, but then people are like, but you can't do this, you gotta stay away from that, we don't like this, and it's like, well then it's not really Terrifier anymore, So they embraced everything, and what you just saw is virtually what they presented to us at the very beginning, and I was like, guys, just go for it. This is too good to be true, honestly. So thank you, it really is the greatest honor, and thank all you guys for your amazing support. It means the world, honestly.
I'd like to add to that just a little bit. Again, if it wasn't for the fans, we're not here. If it wasn't for you guys, we're not getting to see this work of art. And I gotta say, out of all the people we worked with, I've never seen Damien so on board with what they came up with. Usually it's like, my motto is close is good, Damien's is like bullshit. And I've never seen him agree so many times, so fast, like, yeah, that's cool, yeah, that's cool, yeah, that's cool. So they were doing the right thing here.
Hey, one other thing about the in-park Art the Clowns. Anybody have tickets for RAP? Well, even the RIP lounge is not safe. I'm just telling you. Like, you're gonna go in there and get your lovely buffet dinner, and yeah, that's not safe either. Just so you know, okay? More to come. All right, it is audience participation time. When you came in today, I believe they gave you all an Art the Clown mask. You guys got it? We're gonna do a selfie, okay? So I'm gonna put this down so I don't break anything. We're gonna bring the lights up. Everybody hold the Art the Clown in front of your face, okay? Do we have them too, up here? Somebody's bringing them out. There we go. All right, Phil, that's for you. Damien, that's for you. Arch, you don't get one because you already have the face. So we're gonna turn around, face the audience. Put them on, everybody, all of you, now! Oh, wow, that worked. I'm gonna yell more often. 1, 2, 3. Awesome! Ladies and gentlemen, give it up for Damien Leone, Phil Falcone, Art the Clown! Thank you, gentlemen, for being with us today. We greatly appreciate it.